or private insurance. Join today and get your free meter. Sorry, currently we do not accept Medicaid or HMO insurance plans. Call now.
800-808-5181. That's 800-808-5181. Diabetics, learn how to get your free meter. Call now. 800-808-5181. That's 800-808-5181.
Are ye plagued by foreclosure? Well, here at Jim Ladd and Matey, we can stop your foreclosure now. We're a mortgage rescue company, and for the small fee of everything you hold dear, we will negotiate with your lender on your behalf. Call Jim Ladd and Matey at 1-800-YAR-YAR. That's 1-800-YAR-YAR.
If you're facing foreclosure, talk to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-9995-HOPE. Brought to you by NeighborWorks America and the Ad Council.
When buying or selling a home, always be sure to use a local realtor who has the knowledge and experience to help you get the most from this market. Properly pricing your home is vitally important. Realtors value properties every day. They understand how best to show a home and can help enhance the saleability and sale price of your home. This message is brought to you by the over 19,000 realtor members in Massachusetts. Contact a local realtor today, and good luck in the search for your perfect home. Good afternoon, and welcome once again to the Jim Lowenstern Radio Talk Show. I know I've been doing this for a while now, because I am honestly not sure at this point how many shows I've actually done. Don't get me wrong, I'm not like Imus, Howard Stern, or Rush Limbaugh, having been talking on air for years. But in a way, I have been on for 2 years. I began a few months ago, the same weekend as Thanksgiving, and that was 2011. Now it's 2012. So in a way, I've been on the air for 2 years. Maybe not 2 entire years, but definitely 2 years, 2011 and 2012. My show has evolved, and I believe I've developed a little style along the way. And today, we are actually welcoming back to the show a guest from week 1. I'm going to say my favorite guest from that week as well. Jennifer Giuliano, a realtor with Keller Williams Real Estate in Westborough, Massachusetts. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me back.
Welcome. This is also homecoming for one of my original brokers. Actually, I don't think she's given her company notice yet, so maybe I'll wait for next week to mention her. But she knows who she is. My other guests this afternoon are Gretchen Papineau. Did I get that pronunciation correct, Gretchen?
Hi, Jim. It's Gretchen Papineau.
Papineau, with Coldwell Banker in Andover, correct?
Absolutely, and it's great to be here.
Thanks for joining us. And Debbie Benoit from Benoit, Meisner, and Simon. Hi, Debbie. Oh, I'm sorry. Debbie isn't here. I've got Cheryl Simon. Yes?
You do, Jim. Thank you.
And your mic is working. We have a lot of people in our studio, including myself, who don't have seats today. So I'm enjoying the view of the water here in Marina Bay. And your company's in Winthrop, right, Cheryl?
No, my company, and again, thank you for having
I'm just
me
kidding.
here.
You're in Wellesley and
and
Weston. I know.
Meisner Simon.
I know. I'm just having fun with you, Cheryl. And her partner here, Amy Meisner, is also here. Amy, do you have a working microphone?
My mic's not working.
Okay. Thank you, Mike, our board operator. Okay. And that actually gives us a definitive full house today. I was doing a count of how many years experience there are in the room, and we're just short of 100 years total. We have 97 years altogether in the industry between all of us, including me and the four lovely ladies that join me today. We are, I might say, top brokers each, every one of us. And we're going to be able to educate you a little about the real estate market that we are experiencing as we quickly slide from the fall market of 2011 right into the spring market of 2012. Totally missing the winter market because of maybe partly the weather, partly low interest rates, and partly just the pent-up demand. You should feel free to dial us up here because we are live this week. No pre-recorded show this time. You can really take advantage. Call us at 617-237-1234. You can even send questions through email directly into my iPhone, which is right at my side. Just go to jimlowenstern.com to send questions from the site. You can also listen to us at revolutionboston.com. It streams there live, and all my previous shows are also at jimlowenstern.com. So tonight is the Academy Awards. I wanted to mention something about the Academy Awards before our first commercial break. I went to see the George Clooney film last evening, The Descendants, a great flick. I'm pretty sure it won't win any awards, though it probably should. I think George already won a Golden Globe for it, so I believe the Academy wouldn't want to be a second banana to that award group. But I digress, and sorry, but this is a spoiler alert. I won't give everything away, but I just want to say that George's character handled a very tough family situation that concerned a huge tract of oceanfront property in Hawaii. And in my opinion, exactly the way it should have been handled, though most of us could never walk away from probably hundreds of millions of dollars that were probably offered. Only in the movies, as they say. The movie speaks to the stewardship of the land, to our planet, really. As realtors, we sometimes forget that we should consider the future of the planet beneath those houses and commercial properties we develop, market, sell, and then resell. Right? I ask my guests here for a hearty amen. Amen?
I'm in agreement.
All right. Now, also in the movie, there's an unfaithful husband. He's a villain of sorts. And, of course, they cast him as a realtor. Well, at least a real estate broker. I guess Hollywood wanted George's character to have an enemy, and unfortunately, they couldn't figure out how to write a hedge fund broker or mortgage banker into the plot. Too bad. In my opinion, that was the only flaw in the script. The real heroes of the last several years, in my opinion, have been the realtors who have fought hard with an economy that threatened their livelihoods and the American dream of home ownership. I know this sounds a bit self-serving, but the truth is that over the past few years, realtors have fought hard for their clients and even their associates if they own an office like I do. It hasn't been an easy market cycle. I've been through a few downturns in my 30 years in the business, but this time the market was different. So today, with my guests, I think we will be here to talk about how the market has changed for the better. I want to officially ring the bell today for the bottom of the real estate market, and I want anyone, either in the studio or listening out there in Radio Land, to dispute that a change is happening in the real estate market, a change for the better. Call us at 617-237-1234 or send the contact form with your questions or comments from jimlowenstern.com. One final quick mention before the break. Janice and Lynn from It's Your Move, Inc. were on our last show, and they were wonderful guests. They want me to clarify that their website URL is itsyourmoveinc.com. You need to remember the Inc., or I guess you can just Google It's Your Move to get there as well. This is WWZN AM, 1510 Boston. It's the Jim Lowenstern Radio Talk Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
You look and you look through neighborhood after neighborhood. You go up and down streets, into cul-de-sacs, and around every bend. Then one day you slowly pull up and finally see it. Your house. At Wells Fargo, we're with you when you're ready to find the house. In fact, we're with you in every stage of home ownership, from planning to purchasing to well after you own your home. Our free preferred payment plan service is a great example. You can automatically tie your payment schedule to your paydays. It's convenient and completely free. The program may even help you pay off your mortgage faster. Let us help you find the mortgage that fits your needs. Talk with a Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant today. We're ready to help and answer all your mortgage questions. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Wells Fargo Home Mortgage is a division of Wells Fargo Bank N.A., equal housing lender.
For more information, please contact your local Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant, Jason Bonarigo, at 617-363-4617.
When you are searching for a new home, you want to be working with a realtor with years of experience, a professional with intimate knowledge of the communities that you are considering moving to, and someone who really wants to represent you as a buyer in what is probably the largest investment you'll ever make in your lifetime. Please visit us at castlesunlimited.com or call us anytime at 800-967-3561. Start your search anytime 24/7 at castlesunlimited.com, and a Castles Unlimited Realtor will get back to you just as fast as possible. Castles Unlimited Realtors, expert advice and quick, informative information on all the listings, not only your local market, but information on properties for sale or rent anywhere in the world. Your Castles Unlimited Realtor is always there to help you with your next move, your next purchase, your next home, or commercial property sale. CastlesUnlimited.com and 800-967-3561. Find your way home with your favorite Castles Unlimited Realtor.
I was driving, trees went by, me and Del were singing Little Runaway.
We're back. This is Jim Lowenstern's My Radio Show, and we're going to be talking about real estate today. I'm going to be allowing any of my guests to answer these questions, but we're going to start with Gretchen Papineau. Gretchen, questions for the sellers of real estate out there. What are some strategies that a seller can take to be successful in the current real estate market?
Well, Jim, what we try to do is really educate the sellers on what the current market conditions are and where to best insert their house into the market from a pricing standpoint. But then we coincide that with a really strong marketing strategy. And probably one of the first things that we do with the marketing strategy is to make sure that the house is going to look its absolute best. We have paint consultants, we have a professional stager, we have a professional photographer. And the purpose of that is we want to make sure that the house looks the absolute best on the internet. And then we work our strategies from there.
Do we even talk about print ads anymore? Do you advertise in print at all?
Yes, we do. And actually, we advertise in a number of different areas in print. From a local standpoint, we'll be in the Andover Townsman as well as the North Andover Citizen. Then from a regional standpoint, we're in the Boston Globe. We also advertise in the Wall Street Journal. So the print ads will actually complement what people are also seeing online. And we also do select mailings to target groups that would be potential buyers for the property.
Now, you've been in the business for
almost 18 years, helping sellers and buyers.
So in 18 years, did you see the amount of print ads versus internet advertising change, and do social media marketing?
Absolutely, because what we are seeing when 18 years ago, of course, the internet didn't even exist, I don't think. It sounds like I'm talking about before TVs, but when you think about it, there wasn't that opportunity to reach people through the internet back then. And so now we have the opportunity what I would call the traditional ways with the print marketing, but also we overlay that with very, very strong internet strategies, search engine optimization, and just making sure that the listings are very, very well represented online. Each of our listings have their own personal website as well.
Okay,
Sellers like
so
that.
you have your own website. Do you also have like Facebook pages for
Yep. We have a
real estate
Facebook
business?
page, Papineau Partners. Absolutely. We're also on LinkedIn. We're on Twitter. And we find that that's
ActiveRain.com, do you use that?
Yes, we're on ActiveRain.com too.
There's so many websites to keep track of. How do you keep them all going?
Well, there's ways to interconnect all three so that you're connecting with people. And we've found that that's actually it's a great way to develop relationships. And really, when you think about it, real estate's all about relationships and people wanting to work with you, people who know, like, and trust you.
So what are the ways that you successfully negotiate offers these days on behalf of the sellers, let's say?
Well, in my opinion, the first thing is to know who your client is. So are you representing the seller or are you representing the buyer? And then the whole oath of confidentiality that I have with my listings, and we can certainly talk about the property and make sure that people fully understand and disclose everything we know about the property. But my owners' motivations and their own personal circumstances, I hold that information very close to the vest, and that's never shared with anyone else. So I'm protective of my sellers, but I understand their goal is to sell the property. And so we have to have our ears open as we negotiate and listen and find out what just find out how to bring it together.
Cheryl, Jennifer, Amy, anybody want to add to that?
Jim, I think one of the things that, in addition to what Gretchen was saying, the staging, getting the price set correctly, is also getting their expectations set correctly. Whether it be on the days on market, no one can really predict that exactly. Some houses have sold a lot faster than I expected them to, and some that I had thought would take a while sold very quickly. So I would say, letting them know, what's going to happen and when, whether it's, from the time that they get the offer signed all the way through closing. Sometimes, a lot of sellers are first-time sellers, and we, look at them. A lot of agents don't look at it that way because they'll just expect that they need to know that they already know what they need to know. And I found the most times that they've been as seamless as they can is when everyone knows, okay, this is going to happen next. And even if it's just a quick reminder for them, they felt more comfortable that they, know what's going through. We do this every day. We don't do their jobs every day. So
have you ever had a listing that's been on for just an incredible length of time, 300 days, let's say?
Yes.
And did you prepare the sellers, if you were the first broker and it hadn't been marketed before, that it could happen because it's a unique property and it's not going to meet everyone's needs?
The ones are of all the listings I've had that jump out, those had really significant title issues. One had 4 liens on it, so that was a long time in getting that cleared. So that wasn't a typical sale. It was a short sale in addition to having some, other title issues. And the other one was also a short sale that had septic issues. So both of those had, I would say, not unique in the market sense, but unique conditions to themselves. So it's not like they just, we overpriced it, for the time and just didn't know what was going on. Those are the only 2 I can think of that really had any significant time on the market. And, they knew what was going to happen. So especially the one with the 4 liens knew that was not going to be an overnight sale.
Okay. Amy, Cheryl, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, hi. This is Amy Meisner from Benoit Meisner Simon and Company. The key thing to strategy when you're selling anything, specifically selling a house, is branding it and understanding who the buyer pool is for that particular house and what makes that house unique in a marketplace. And strategizing on when a buyer is looking on the internet and searching for their home, what differentiates that property to make it unique and make them want to see it. Sometimes it's purely the price. But it's usually how it's photographed, how the copy is written, And from that point on, then you decide what the marketing strategy is. And yes, we use traditional means with the print media as well. But once again, you really want to understand who your buyer is and what they're looking at, and talk to them directly.
See, I agree with that, Jim, that the copy and the way that the property is presented is after, as Amy says, looking at who's the potential buyers, who is the most likely buyer, and then writing appropriate copy that highlights the aspects of the house that would reach that buyer pool.
Do you think educating and I'll let anybody answer this, educating the buyers about the property and even the market in general help to negotiate that offer when it's made?
Well, this is Cheryl Simon from Benoit Meisner Simon. The one thing I will say that makes our job a little bit easier too is that today the buyers have the benefit of having the internet and the resource of MLS. So most buyers now are getting their information from MLS. So they're coming into the marketplace very educated and know the comps perhaps as well as we do in the market. So it makes it a little bit easier for the buyers, I think, and for the sellers to negotiate that deal because there's so much information out there right now as to what things are selling for. Before they used to rely on just the agent, but now they have all this information themselves off of the internet.
So, Cheryl, I'm going to ask you this question as if I know absolutely nothing, which I know something, but I'm not 100% sure I know this. Buyers that are looking on the internet, they have access to the listings that are currently on the market. Do most of them really have access to what's currently under agreement? And do they really have access to what is sold? And do they really have, most of them? I mean, we do it every day, so this is really our lives in a way. Do they really know what they're looking at when they see sold prices? I guess they could find it online if they bought into like Banker and Tradesman or
they are
something
able
like
to
that.
find that information. They won't be able to find out when a property is under agreement what it's under agreement for, but they will see that it is flagged and it has an accepted offer. But the one thing I wanted to bring up also in regards to the listings that we have and the houses that we represent, when a seller is unrealistic in this particular market, what they actually end up doing is helping another listing broker or another property end up selling.
Good point.
So when you misprice your house, you're ending, you're helping somebody else sell their property.
Well, the other thing is overpriced houses typically, when they finally do sell for less than their actual value.
On the market, correct.
And a well-priced house, at least in my opinion, will actually sell in some cases for more than it's really worth. Anybody disagree with that? Does that make sense?
I think it does. I think that when you try to select the absolute best price in everyone's judgment, if you can back it up with facts and other sold properties, that the market responds much better than that. I think anything that's over about 5% overpriced, ultimately, I agree with you, Jim, sells for less in our market in Andover.
Well, there's a direct correlation to days on market and pricing.
Right.
And meeting with a really good buyer's broker or an experienced listing agent, they will be able to show you those statistics, and it goes hand in hand in any market. The longer the days on the market, the bigger the differential will be from the listing price and the selling price. So when a property is priced well, the buyers are educated. They're out there looking, and they're going to recognize that. And you're going to see that it's going to sell closer or above asking the more competitive that you're pricing the house.
And the seller really has their leverage in those first 20 days is when the seller's leverage is higher. The seller's leverage is higher during that period.
Okay, we're going to go to break now, and just hang in there. We'll be right back. It's the Jim Lowen Stern Radio Talk Show on WWZN 1510 Boston.
When you are looking to buy or sell real estate and you are looking for the right realtor to do business with, NewEnglandProsperity.org is a nationwide network of carefully selected brokers who are willing to give both you and your favorite charity a large portion of their commission. These brokers are only too happy to donate to a charity and to credit you back money to help with things such as your mortgage closing costs, title insurance, moving expenses, and more. When you're starting to look for a realtor first, go to NewEnglandProsperity.org and sign up. You'll be referred to a broker who will have your interests first and who will also credit you and donate to charity. Look them up at NewEnglandProsperity.org. And when you sign up on their website, you can expect a top broker to return to you with a call to begin discussing the next steps in your selling or buying process. NewEnglandProsperity.org brokers make it easy to buy and sell real estate, and they make it easy for you to pay for your closing costs because they pitch in with a piece of their commission and they make charitable contributions. For all of the information, just go to NewEnglandProsperity.org. We are changing the way America buys and sells real estate.
Castles Magazine, an in-print and online magazine and database of exceptional properties, is available to you 24/7 at castlesmag.com. Considered by Google to be the online authority of luxury real estate, castlesmag.com is the best way to search for properties anywhere in the world when you are looking for your dream home, and the best realtors to help you with your search. Castles Magazine and castlesmag.com, one in print and one online, and always at your service. Not just opening doors, opening the doors that you dream of.
You look and you look through neighborhood after neighborhood. You go up and down streets, into cul-de-sacs, and around every bend. Then one day you slowly pull up and finally see it. Your house. At Wells Fargo, we're with you when you're ready to find the house. In fact, we're with you in every stage of home ownership, from planning to purchasing to well after you own your home. Our free preferred payment plan service is a great example. You can automatically tie your payment schedule to your paydays. It's convenient and completely free. The program may even help you pay off your mortgage faster. Let us help you find the mortgage that fits your needs. Talk with a Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant today. We're ready to help and answer all your mortgage questions. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Wells Fargo Home Mortgage is a division of Wells Fargo Bank N.A., equal housing lender.
For more information, please contact your local Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant, Jason Bonarigo, at 617-363-4617.
You're back. Listen to the Jim Lowenstern Radio Talk Show. And just want to give you those numbers again, should you want to call in. 617-237-1234. And outside the Boston area, 866-338-9663. Lots of great guests with us today. And we have Cheryl Simon and Amy Meisner from Benoit, Meisner and Simon. Benoit, Meisner and Simon and Company. Forgot that. Okay, so Cheryl, let's get a little bit of a background on your company. You had been working in the industry for a while. You left to start your own company. How long ago was that? And what was the decision that made you decide to start your own company? And how's it been going?
Well, first of all, it's been going great. I had been with a larger company, real estate company, for 20 years. So very seasoned broker. I partnered with Amy, who's here with me today, and Amy Meisner. And we had sort of flirted with the idea of starting our own company, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. You get very comfortable when you're with a company as long as we had been, but we did feel that there was a need for a niche company where we could really set us up, apart from the rest of the corporate world and do much more private service for our clients. And it's been great. We've hired 40 brokers. We have an office both in Weston and Wellesley. And We have, I think, what is it, about 144 million?
That was of 2011. We're off to an amazing start this year. And we partnered with Debbie Benoit. The three of us are equal partners and opened 2 offices because we felt that there was a huge synergy between the Weston and the Wellesley market. And we've been off and running for about 14 months, and just it's been an amazing experience. We're ahead of our expectations, even in a tough economy.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw this out to everyone. Jennifer and Gretchen, you can also answer this. The spring market, and I'm going to suggest that we're already in the spring market. Sometimes I really feel in January we're in the spring market. Now we're days away from March. How does it look for 2012?
Well, this is Cheryl. I think it's very encouraging. First of all, we've had incredible weather, no snow, and the buyers started very early in the season. So they started in January, but we're seeing very well-attended open houses. I would say last year, with all the snow that we had, you would have a limited amount of people coming to the open houses. We're seeing 15 to 20 couples coming in, and we're seeing bid wars, which we haven't seen in several years. So I think it's a very healthy market out there right now.
We're seeing some of the same things. This is Gretchen. We're seeing some of the same things in Andover. Typically, our market would start right after the new year, which had been somewhat different over the last 3 to 4 years. We found that it was starting more in end of February, as an example, but it started very strong this year. I think there's a lot of pent-up demand. I think
not a lot of inventory.
That's right. Interest rates.
Helping.
I think interest rates are, my first mortgage was 13%, so I'm still shaking my head over today's interest rates.
I hope you refinance.
I have.
There's also a lot of buyers that were discouraged the last few years and got into temporary rentals in the suburban market, and they're just frustrated with their rentals. Their leases are up, and as it was just mentioned, there's a pent-up demand of these renters that are on the sidelines and ready to buy.
So
I'm optimistic for 2012.
Thanks, Gretchen. Anybody not optimistic in the room? We got optimists. Good.
We have optimism, but I want to just remind people that it is a price-sensitive market out there. You could still not have a success story out there if you are priced over where the house should be. So, if it's priced fairly, there's a very healthy market out there.
I have a sale going on. I think the house has been on the market for 1,000 days with another broker, and we're between offer and purchase and sale, and between the original list price and what it's under agreement now, it's $350,000. So price does play an important part in the overall scenario. So, question for everyone: 5 things you can do if you're a seller to get your home ready for a quick sale this spring. Anybody have any suggestions?
Jim, I'd like to answer that. I would say, aside from this, I would say staging is a given. Yard cleanup, a lot of people sounds odd, but they'll look at sometimes the front yard, the side, and they forget that sometimes people will walk around the back, look at other surrounding areas. I've seen that happen where the front of the house looks really great, and then you walk back, and that's all the brush and debris that they moved back there. That sounds basic, but really important. So I'd say good yard work, good staging, home inspections. I prefer to have my sellers have a home inspection up front, if possible, because that way, yes, you're going to find out things at the buyer's inspection, but if there are small things there that you could have avoided up front, it's much easier negotiating later. And then that way, too, the buyer feels that there's been full disclosure.
Would you mention to buyers, brokers, and the buyers that the seller did their own home inspection and took care of a lot of punch list items?
Yes, and they'll leave it at the house along with the other marketing materials so they can see what was done and what was repaired. Because a lot of times, especially with first-time buyers, they'll I'll say it, they do tend to nickel and dime things, and sometimes see smaller issues as being gargantuan problems with the house that are really just either representative of their being nervous buyers or not understanding that maybe switching out an outlet to a GFCI protector is not life and death if it's taken care of. It's it's a very inexpensive fix in the scheme of things. Comparative to needing a new furnace, or maybe there's water in the electrical box. Very different scenarios there. And if you can tell someone these are the things that we've done, yes, I would absolutely tell the brokers that, and the buyers. So I think that was 3 things.
Know your competition.
Yep, definitely know your competition. I've taken potential sellers through houses that are either on the market that would be competing with them, even if that was not that day that they were going to list, so that at some point when that house does go under agreement, they can see how their house related to that. And although I know a couple of sellers thought it was odd at the time, they appreciated it later when they could actually use that as a negotiating tool.
Anybody else have any ideas for the sellers? What else they need to do? Staging? Picking a broker.
It's picking. It's really getting the advice of an experienced broker in your marketplace, because sometimes it's hard to be objective with your own home, and you really need a professional to walk through each room with you, and talk about what needs to be done. And staging is a generic word that doesn't have to cost a whole lot of money. Sometimes it's just decluttering. Sometimes it's just moving a large piece of furniture away from a beautiful fireplace that it's hiding, or a beautiful picture window. So use your listing broker to their advice and their expertise to walk through each room and talk about what could be done to enhance that room. And the earlier you do that, I think you'll see the results once you put it on the market.
I think Amy brought up a valid point, but people should also understand when their house is on the market that they are subject to people looking in closets. So it's also very important, because a very cluttered closet is going to look a lot smaller than if it's cleaned out. They definitely will look in cabinets and closets. So that's one area that people tend to want to put things behind and just shove in. And, it's just better to have it neater and cleaner.
I think you bring up an interesting philosophy of mine. When buyers are walking through the house, they're looking at not just the house, but maybe imagining their lifestyle, their future lives. Would it be better if it were in that house? So they're almost like buying a lifestyle. And here's someone who might be disorganized as you come into the house and list it. You want to help them organize, because a more organized house is going to be easier to sell.
More palatable. Mm-hmm.
So, Amy, you brought up the fact that professional stagers might not be really that necessary.
Well, staging could be as simple as painting. Paint is cheap. Adding colorful pillows, or taking the existing things that a seller has and rearranging them. I would say that so often I'll walk through a house and I think like a buyer, and I walk through each room as if it's like a little, a walking tour of that house. And usually just working with the items that a seller has and is often enough to stage a house and make it look so much cleaner and crisper and neutral enough where a buyer can see themselves living there. And then, once again, you can go steps further, depending upon each house has its own unique challenges and its own unique features and assets. So, but it doesn't mean that you have to bring in an expensive professional stager. Your listing broker should be able to provide those services to make your house look the best. And especially if the first impression is the most important. I have sometimes suggested they get moving a little early and actually get the boxes and maybe a pod out in the driveway and actually start moving things out of the house. It will make the house look larger, and it'll make it look like they're ready to move, which I think is also another
important thing for buyers to see, that the seller really is on their way out, because they're looking for a house that they can move into. So, our number again is 617-237-1234. If you want to call, it's live today. It's the Jim Lowenstern Radio Talk Show. We'll be back after the break. Does everyone feel like they're getting...
You look and you look through neighborhood after neighborhood. You go up and down streets, into cul-de-sacs, and around every bend. Then one day you slowly pull up and finally see it. Your house. At Wells Fargo, we're with you when you're ready to find the house. In fact, we're with you in every stage of home ownership, from planning to purchasing to well after you own your home. Our free preferred payment plan service is a great example. You can automatically tie your payment schedule to your paydays. It's convenient and completely free. The program may even help you pay off your mortgage faster. Let us help you find the mortgage that fits your needs. Talk with a Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant today. We're ready to help and answer all your mortgage questions. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Wells Fargo Home Mortgage is a division of Wells Fargo Bank N.A., equal housing lender.
For more information, please contact your local Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant, Jason Bonarigo, at 617-363-4617.
When you are looking to buy or sell real estate and you are looking for the right realtor to do business with, NewEnglandProsperity.org is a nationwide network of carefully selected brokers who are willing to give both you and your favorite charity a large portion of their commission. These brokers are only too happy to donate to a charity and to credit you back money to help with things such as your mortgage closing costs, title insurance, moving expenses, and more. When you're starting to look for a realtor first, go to NewEnglandProsperity.org and sign up. You'll be referred to a broker who will have your interests first and who will also credit you and donate to charity. Look them up at NewEnglandProsperity.org, and when you sign up on their website, you can expect a top broker to return to you with the call to begin discussing the next steps in your selling or buying process. NewEnglandProsperity.org brokers make it easy to buy and sell real estate, and they make it easy for you to pay for your closing costs because they pitch in with a piece of their commission and they make charitable contributions. For all of the information, just go to NewEnglandProsperity.org. We are changing the way America buys and sells real estate.
You're back. We're back. It's Jim Lowenstern. This is my radio talk show on WWZN, Revolution, Boston. And we had some questions this week from the website, actually, jimlowenstern.com. A couple of questions. So I'm going to just put that out to any of my guests, or all of them, if they'd like to answer. We have a question from Maurice, who's from Cohasset, and Maurice asks, this is an election year, and historically this time period usually brings us a positive bump in the overall economy. Do you think that this is the best time to sell my house over the next few years? I am retiring and planning to move to Florida no matter what within the next few years. So Maurice wants to know, I guess, what the future prediction is from anyone who wants to answer the question. Is this the year to sell?
Well, we definitely are seeing life out in the market right now, and it's a great time, by the way, to buy in Florida. So you might end up getting a great deal in Florida and doing okay here. You know, again, we are seeing some bid wars in the marketplace, so there's life out there right now. So, you know, I think you can always sort of test the market, but I wouldn't be, putting it at a price that will not, get an audience. But, great time to buy down south now.
So really actually a great time to speak to an experienced agent down in his market to find out what the market conditions are, what the competitive outlook is down there. I have found that in the early spring market, sellers have less competition, so they actually do much better.
Now, it's an interesting question because he's going to a market where the prices have really dropped. And Cohasset, assuming that's where his property is that he's talking about, that I would imagine has been fairly stable over the last few years. Better if he moves out and rents it. Maybe it's going to come back. Well, that's a question I'd like anyone to answer. What's the prediction? Because I've heard everything we got another 10 years before prices are going to come back. There's volume, sales volume in the market, but then there's also prices. Prices typically right now, and certainly in some parts of the country, have gone down.
I think also if you wait 10 years, though, there's more wear and tear and no guarantee about what's going to happen in the market 10 years from now. So I think you move when you're ready to move. And again, he's moving into a part of the country where he's going to get a pretty nice probably property, unless he's buying waterfront. But
I was going to say, it all depends. There's some really expensive property in Florida on the water. Right. That's for sure.
It's very hard to have a crystal. This is Amy Meisner. It's very hard to have a crystal ball. Anybody who really says that they know what the real estate market's going to be in the next 2 years is really, I don't think, being responsible. But I think you have to look at what your current needs are. And you have to look, as Cheryl said, at both markets. Since you're going down to Florida, you're going to get some very good buys. It depends how much of liens you have on the house. What is your mortgage? What is your note? If it was a year, 18 months ago, I would have said wait it out or rent your house. But there's life out there now. And but to predict what's going to happen in the next 2 years from now or after the election is hard. I could just tell you that there are a lot of buyers that are ready to buy right now. So if that meets your needs after getting an opinion and value of the house, then I think it's a good time to put it on.
So the answer is
do it. Do it if it works for you, and instead of trying to anticipate what a market's going to be in a few years from now.
Okay, next question. I had two this week. Joseph from North Reading is asking, I hear about the shadow inventory of foreclosed homes that the banks are holding, but the so-called flood of inventory that was promised never seems to hit the market, at least around my area. If I want to invest in these properties, is there a good way? I purchased a Realty Track account, but that hasn't really proven to be a successful avenue. Any suggestions? Joseph's looking for deals. Anybody know how he can find some deals out there?
I would say the deals are out there. I think it's a good thing that they haven't dumped an entire inventory of properties that they've supposedly been holding back. I mean, anybody that's following the investment market, they're even in Worcester, I can speak for example. Just last week, we were in a multiple bidding war for a property that had recently come on. There were 6 offers on it. 2 of them were already on the property before they even got on, or within a day or so of it getting on the market. It's really just being really astute and watching what's coming on. I don't know if he would really need a Realty Track account as much as he would need something from like an agent diligently watching the MLS or Hot Sheets or any of the the daily feed websites. They're out there. I don't want to see them put a whole bunch on at one time because that will flood the market anyway, and that will bring other problems. He really just needs a diligent buyer agent to be looking out for him.
But it's also this is Gretchen, it's also very town specific. Don't you find that there, if he's actually if he's from North Reading, there's a strong town where there probably isn't much shadow inventory.
Right, he should be going with Maurice to Florida.
So I think certain towns there may be some shadow inventory. Certain towns, I actually don't think there's much shadow inventory at all.
I have to agree with Gretchen on that too, because in Southborough there are very, very few properties in that price range that would. I think there were maybe 6 foreclosures in as many years. So he needs to look maybe towards some of the cities.
And also, the investors have to be very savvy. In our market, the Weston, Wellesley, Newton, Brookline market, there's some. I would say there are good buys. There are no steals. I think it's an amazing time for the buyer to make a lifestyle choice. People are not looking at most of the inventory in our market as an investment opportunity to flip, but to hold on to and to choose it as a lifestyle choice because interest rates are so low and prices are down, and it's a wonderful opportunity for the buyer to trade up and to live in these properties for a while, but not to flip them.
Of course, with the interest rates as low as they are currently, it's absolutely a good time to buy. Well, this is Jim Lowenstern. You're still with us. We have one more break before we come back. The phone number again is 617-237-1234. If you want to call, we're live today. And you're listening to my show on WWZN 1510 AM. When buying or selling a home, always be sure to use a local realtor who has the knowledge and experience to help you get the most from this market. Properly pricing your home is vitally important. Realtors value properties every day. They understand how best to show a home and can help enhance the saleability and sale price of your home. This message is brought to you by the over 19,000 realtor members in Massachusetts. Contact a local realtor today, and good luck in the search for your perfect home.
When you are searching for a new home, you want to be working with a realtor with years of experience, a professional with intimate knowledge of the communities that you are considering moving to, and someone who really wants to represent you as a buyer in what is probably the largest investment you'll ever make in your lifetime. Please visit us at CastlesUnlimited.com or call us anytime at 800-967-3561. Start your search anytime 24/7 at CastlesUnlimited.com, and a Castles Unlimited Realtor will get back to you just as fast as possible. Castles Unlimited Realtors, expert advice and quick, informative information on all the listings, not only your local market, but information on properties for sale or rent anywhere in the world. Your Castles Unlimited Realtor is always there to help you with your next move, your next purchase, your next home, or commercial property sale. CastlesUnlimited.com and 800-967-3561. Find your way home with your favorite Castles Unlimited Realtor.
You look and you look through neighborhood after neighborhood. You go up and down streets, into cul-de-sacs, and around every bend. Then one day you slowly pull up and finally see it. Your house. At Wells Fargo, we're with you when you're ready to find the house. In fact, we're with you in every stage of home ownership, from planning to purchasing to well after you own your home. Our free preferred payment plan service is a great example. You can automatically tie your payment schedule to your paydays. It's convenient and completely free. The program may even help you pay off your mortgage faster. Let us help you find the mortgage that fits your needs. Talk with a Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant today. We're ready to help and answer all your mortgage questions. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far. Wells Fargo Home Mortgage is a division of Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., equal housing lender.
For more information, please contact your local Wells Fargo home mortgage consultant, Jason Bonarigo, at 617-363-4617.
We're back. It's Jim Lowenstern, my radio show this afternoon. I've got 4 wonderful guests with me, and I'm going to throw this out to anyone who wants to answer it. With all the information and opportunities that technology has afforded to the consumer, do the buyers and sellers of real estate still need a real estate professional to assist them, and why?
Jim, I'd like to answer that. This is Jennifer. I would say absolutely. A little bit of information can be dangerous in the wrong hands. Sometimes people will misinterpret what they're reading, and they just don't know. You know, it may seem black and white to somebody that's not used to understanding something that we're trained and do every day. So I would say getting that information and then having somebody who's a professional help them understand what it means, what it could mean to them financially, what it means to them in their transaction. It's getting the information is one thing, and interpreting it's another.
Anybody else? No? Okay, another question. Is it still a buyer's market, or are sellers beginning to close the gap and get more value from their homes than in the last few years?
Well, Jim, in Andover, certain price segments are actually under-inventoried. And really the advantage is more in those particular segments to the seller because they're competing with less. There's buyers, they're popular segments that might contribute 20 to 25% of the annual volume. that only have 3 or 4 months worth of inventory, where 6 months might be normal inventory. So in some cases, sellers have tremendous advantage, but I think it's more balanced overall.
Okay, so here's a great question I'd love to have answered. So if someone has a house out there and it's on the market but it isn't selling, what tips would you offer them to breathe new life to that, what we'd call a stale or an older listing?
Hi, this is Amy Meisner. I'd rephotograph it. First of all, you should make sure that the photographs are seasonal. There's nothing more frustrating than when you go online and you see a big mound of snow, which is not as relevant this winter.
No, it would be.
In May.
It would mean it was on for a year.
Yeah, right, and they haven't changed, or no photos available. So, I always say it's like an art gallery. Change where the statue is, or the armoire in a furniture store, and move it to another wall. Change the order of the pictures. Look at the copy. Change the copy. Treat it like a new listing. And most importantly, look at the price. Are you being competitive? Are you holding your own? Are you the best? Are you priced and positioned properly in the marketplace?
So sometimes I see properties out there in the winter that just came on the market, and the pictures were obviously taken in the summer. Is that a good idea for sellers and brokers to be looking that far ahead, or is it strange to the buyers?
Well, this is Cheryl, and I want to say that I think that is always a bad strategic move, because it's going to make the house feel like it's on longer than it has been. You always want, like Amy said, to keep it fresh and new. So having summer photos will make that house appear that it's on way longer than it is. And the other thing of it is, I think people tend to wait too long to put their house on the market because they're waiting for the spring tulips and the flowers to come in bloom. But by that time, a lot of the buyers have passed you by. So don't miss an opportunity. There's not a lot of inventory on now. Jump on the spring market, and you should, if you're going to sell this year, you should really think about putting your house on now and not waiting till, May or June till the market has passed you by.
Okay. Any other thoughts? We've got about another minute, actually.
I do, Jim. It's Gretchen. On your question of the property that needs to be 100 days, that's been on the market for a period of time, I think one of the things that sometimes can be very hard for sellers is to really listen to what the trends and the feedback are. And that's what, when you're trying to reintroduce a property, it's really important to understand what were the buyers saying. Is there something that can be changed? To Amy's point about, is it the photos? But oftentimes it's something perhaps within the house just that can be tweaked that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, listening to the buyer's feedback. I can't agree more, because sometimes it's just making a very small change, and then all of a sudden an offer comes in. Sometimes it's adding shutters to the front of the house, or sometimes getting feedback that something's not working, and making that small adjustment could make the world of difference. And it's a little additional staging, so to speak, on the house. So listen to the feedback of the buyers. Don't take it as criticism. Take it as constructive feedback. Think like a buyer, and a good listing broker will communicate that to you. If you're not getting the communications from your listing broker of why